This is the 2016 Toyota Highlander, and ever since it was refreshed, it has been selling like hotcakes. It also won the Canadian Automobile Journalists Association of Canada's category for Best New Crossover or SUV between $35,000 and $60,000. Well, why is it selling so well, and why did it win that category? Because when they redesigned this Highlander, they did a lot of things right. One thing is they made it just a tad longer. It's about 7 centimeters longer, just slightly wider, but they dropped the roof line down a little bit, so it makes the vehicle look like it's sleek, and it definitely is handsome on the outside. In my opinion, this is one of the best looking vehicles in the Toyota lineup. And another reason is because of the packaging. What they were able to do with that bigger platform is provide more seats on the inside. This Highlander now has the capacity to take up to 8 people over 3 rows of seats. Now just think about that for a second. You used to have to buy a minivan to move that many people around, and I love minivans, I think they're great, but for some people they want the more rugged look of an SUV, but they still want the practicality of a minivan, and this is a great people mover in a great looking package. So in this review, we're going to talk about the Highlander and this Highlander Hybrid. Inside is where a lot of the new changes happen, and it all comes together to make this a very good family vehicle. Now first, let's talk about the practicality of this Highlander. Because it's bigger, I mentioned you can get 3 rows of seats. The second row comes standard with 3 seats, and the third row has 3 seats. When you add it all together, that's 8 passengers. The higher end trim levels, like the one I have here, is the top of the range. It has captain's chairs in the middle seats, and that drops the capacity down to 7. But they're much more luxurious, and they even come available with heated seats. What also happened when they extended the length of the Highlander is they provided more space behind that third row. Many 3-row crossovers have a very limited amount of space. And because it's now longer, you have more room without having to fold that third row down. But when you do, the amount of space for a typical 5-passenger vehicle is enormous. Now we're going to move up front. And what's happened on the dash is they provided a tray that I just love here. Place for your cell phone, for your wallet, for your sunglasses, and it just sits right there where the driver and the passenger need it. There's even a little pass-through so you can have your phone plugged in to the plug below and have it sitting up there for it charging while you're driving along. Now, standard on all Highlander models is a 6.1-inch touchscreen display audio system. You get Bluetooth connectivity, and you also get radio controls on the steering wheel. When you go up to the XLE and above, you get the 8-inch screen that you see here with navigation, and you also get some nice features like the automatic tailgate at the back, the power-lifted tailgate. Now, you can get it on the base model, but you have to get the convenience package to get that. Then you look at the rest of the dash, very open and wide and covered with soft touch materials, really nicely finished in here. This, as I mentioned, is the top range hybrid model. The center console is massive, you know, a big place for your water bottles, what have you. In here, in the armrest, is just a massive storage area. I can put my arm all the way down to my elbow. That's how deep it is. You could put a purse in there, tablets, anything you want to hide out of the way, and close that up. And it's just a fabulous use of space. Now, a lot of people are going to shop at the XLE and higher trim levels because you get the oh so important Canadian feature, heated seats. That's very important. Leather wrapped steering wheel, and you get the standard liftgate, as I mentioned. So that's probably where I would start shopping, is the XLE and above. As you can see, it can be very opulent in here with the top of the range hybrid model. Now, I forgot to mention about the second row of seats. They slide forward, which is fantastic. If you want even more cargo space in the back, or you want to sort of share the legroom between the third and the second row, you can slide those seats forward, provide people in the third row with a little bit more space, or you can slide it forward for all kinds of carrying capacity. So that is a great feature. And also with the captain's chairs, it makes it easier for people to get into the third row of seats, but you have to decide if you're happy with an 8-passenger vehicle or a 7-passenger vehicle. Under the hood and the way this drives, more changes. Well, let's talk about the differences between the Highlander and the Highlander Hybrid. The Highlander has a 3.5-liter V6 with 270 horsepower and 248 foot-pounds of torque. Now, this is available with front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Now, always caution people, if you're going to shop for a vehicle, I recommend getting the all-wheel drive. You might not need it, but when you go to resell your vehicle, all-wheel drive vehicles are very highly in demand in Canada, and if you have one for sale that's all-wheel drive, it's going to be much easier to sell or to trade in. So that's your personal choice. So the power, even if you have an all-wheel drive vehicle on a dry, warm day like today, is pushed to the front wheels as often as possible. So that helps this vehicle get good economy. It only sends the power to the rear wheels when the vehicle needs more grip. Say you're in the rain, or you're in the cold, or you're in the snow, of course in Canada is of utmost importance. When you're turning a corner though, the all-wheel drive system automatically shifts 10% of the power to the rear wheels to aid in cornering ability. And it can shift up to a maximum of 50% to those rear wheels. Now, what's the difference with the hybrid system? Well, of course, you have a 3.5-liter V6 engine married to an electric drive system, or as Toyota calls it, synergy drive. And Toyota and hybrid are synonymous. They're so good at their systems. They've been doing it so long, and they really are the market leaders. Most people think of hybrid, they think of Toyota. So this too has the power from the gas engine going to the front wheels, but there's an electric motor in the back that helps with the assist. That's the hybrid system. The power on that is actually more. It's 280 horsepower when you combine both the gas and the electric engine together. This vehicle can run on electric only. It can run just on gas, or obviously a combination of the two. But they also have different driving styles. In my opinion, the gasoline engine is a little bit more spirited and fun to drive, even though it has 10 horsepower less. This hybrid system, because of the electric motor and the way it comes on, it feels much more sophisticated and polished, almost like a luxury vehicle. And a big part of that is because the gasoline engine uses a 6-speed automatic, and this hybrid system uses what's called a continuously variable transmission. Makes it very, very smooth. Fuel economy for the V6 version is 13 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 9.8 liters on the highway. The hybrid is much more efficient, 8.6 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 8.5 on the highway. So if you're somebody that drives a lot, the hybrid might be worth considering. There's one cool feature on this Highlander that is optional. It's called Driver Easy Speak. Push a button on the head unit, and a speaker picks up your voice and broadcasts it through the stereo system to people sitting in the back, so they can hear you loud and clear. Now, is there something negative about this vehicle? The only thing I've ever found driving both the gas and this hybrid version is the 8-inch screen that's optional. It has some kind of coating on it. I think it's to actually give anti-glare properties, but what it does is it just sort of filters out the sunshine or the daylight onto the screen and kind of washes it out a little bit. So pay attention to that and see if you can live with that sort of way it looks. But it's not like you can't see it, it just seems a little bit washed out. So there's a lot to talk about with this new Highlander, and a lot of things Toyota did right. The packaging on the inside is fantastic, makes it very comfortable and usable for everybody in the family. Great looking styling, and also the price. The front wheel drive Highlander starts at $33,500. The first all-wheel drive starts at $36,000, and the hybrid starts at $46,000. So if you're in the market for a Toyota Highlander, I want you to do two things. Drive the regular gas 3.5 liter and try the hybrid to see which one you like, because they have very different styles in the way that they drive. One definitely is more efficient, but a little bit more money. The other one has a little bit more connected driving style. So choose the one that you think is right for your family. The rest of the people in the cabin are going to be very happy and comfortable in the Highlander.